Hello everybody, how is it going? So today we are watching a 3v3 hosted by Bandai in the OCG, I believe. I'm not exactly sure where it was, but pretty much how it works is that there's 8 teams. They all kind of picked randomly to decide who goes against who. And yeah, there's going to be 4, I believe they're all played out at the same time between the 4 teams. They might not be, but we definitely have a couple games to go over, but I'll just be showing the first round today, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so quickly looking at the teams real quick, we got the top team playing Enel, Gecko Moria, and Sakazuki, and the bottom team playing Gecko, Katakuri, and Sakazuki. And surprisingly how they got paired is it's basically all mirror matches outside of the Enel and the Katakuri, and we do get to watch the Enel versus Katakuri, which yeah, I think I was the most interested in this match. The other mirrors seem a little bit odd, but I mean, maybe might have been enjoyable to watch. But yeah, we do have the yellow mirror, but not the same leader. You're gonna see a little bit of Enel and Katakuri in their OPO6 form. Both got new cards, mainly being like the Wano stuff, like the new Okiku. I'm trying to think of what else, but we'll definitely see them as we go along. Is Enel keeping that hand? I think he is. Yeah, Ace is another thing, another card that they got support for from the structure decks. If you guys don't know what Ace does, it is a 5/7 that gains Rush when you have 2 or less life. Really solid, vanilla stat line, Rush card, pretty much, at least for Enel, almost unconditionally. You're going to 2 life very quickly. We get a quick look at the other players on each team. Again, the other 2 games are mirror matches. One Gecko has the ult, one doesn't. Really makes you think. Nah, completely irrelevant. But they have the same exact sleeves. Did you see that? They both had black sleeves on the main deck and the shank sleeves on the Dawn. That's kind of funny. But the players just getting set up here. I imagine we'll be able to see both their hands in just a second. We get to see a little bit of Enel's hand. By the way, I love that guy's hat. That's it. Yeah, I thought this would be interesting to watch. I mean, I love just going over any of the OCG tournaments, seeing how the meta will be. But we're coming up pretty quick on OPO6. It's in March, I believe. And obviously they are in OPO7 already. But I don't think this tournament is in OPO7. At least, yeah, not yet, I don't think. Did they? Yeah, I'm not even sure. Are they in? Did they get EBO1 and OPO7? I'll have to check that. I'm not actually sure. But the rest of Enel's hand was Ace, 2 Yamatos, a Shirahoshi, and a Hiyori. And then Katakuri's hand is Tenmom. I believe it was 2 Amandes. And I'll see the rest in just a second. I didn't think they'd cut away there. They baited me. All right, I think we're getting into it now. Yeah. So yeah, I had. Okay, just 1 Amande, a Sanji, a Amaru, a Reject, and top deck's another Reject for turn. Enel just passing on his turn 1, same thing for Katakuri. Enel swinging 6 will be met with a 2K, and Enel could play Hiyori here, or he could just pass, either one. Just elects to pass, fair enough. Katakuri top decking. Was that another Amande? Yes, it was, because he just used the other one. Just going to attack for 5. And that will probably just take, I imagine. Not going to care too much. Yep. There is also kind of the consideration of, if my life is Okiku, or Kiku Nojo is the proper card name. You don't want to take a life till your opponent's at 3 life, but Katakuri being a 5 life leader, that would have taken, honestly, another 2 turns. Obviously, you're going to take a life by then. So you just kind of have to accept that. And if, your first life is the Okiku, feels bad, but it is what it is. Enel tapping 2, giving a banish to his leader through the Onami, and attacking for 8. So asking for 2 2Ks from Katakuri or a block. He doesn't have the 2Ks right now, and he does just block, which honestly Enel's probably pretty happy about. You just basically just cleared a body that otherwise would have been more pressure on you. Yeah, you're definitely a little bit ahead in board. It's just an Onami and a Brule, so nothing too crazy. But definitely an okay trade, I would think. Katakuri tapping 5, playing down the Gadatsu, popping the Brule. So, that card, a little bit of a swing there, establishing a 6k and popping the blocker is pretty solid. So, yeah, good Gadatsu. Swinging 7 at Enel, and he will take that. Checks his own life. I think it was, man, I looked away for like a second and didn't see it. Sorry about that. But what did Enel just get off life? God damn it. They're playing very quickly, which I can't complain about. I mean, this match probably will take a while just because of the nature of the decks. I believe I think he top decked the Brule. I think maybe got either a Sanji or a Beji there, or one of the 2Ks. Taking a look at his hand, it's probably an ace turn, I would think, because you're at 2 life now, right? Yep. Gonna swing 5 with the Nami, or Onami. Katakuri has 1 counter in hand, so he might be taking a lot of life this turn. But it was a Parasparrow that he looked at. Okay, we found out pretty quickly. So yep, triggering out the Parasparrow. Honestly, that's fine. As Enel, I think you just go 5 and then 7 with the ace. Just try to put on as much pressure as you can, because with 10 Mom just existing, once Katakuri gets 1 or 2 of them out there, it's like lives that you just have to take every turn, and you kind of lose your kind of barrier of not dying, you know. But the ace will also take a life, so Enel chewing through 3 life this turn, really, really solid. Katakuri thinking on a Satori trigger. He could. It does let him fight back a little bit more on the board, or just more pressure for life, you know, having 4 attacks. Does put a little bit more pressure on Enel, but honestly, it's like, I feel like there's so many good triggers that Enel really wouldn't care. Might even drop to like 0 and then just Yamato heal it back. Maybe not though. You gotta be a little bit careful. But Katakuri would be going into, what is it? He went second, so this should be his 8th on turn. Yeah, figured it out. And doesn't currently have an 8 drop, so this turn could just be a whole bunch of big swings. He does end up triggering out the Satori, which, yeah, I think it's fair. Oh, he top decks a 7 Mom, which is really, really good for him. Okay. So yeah, this is a really good turn for Katakuri, honestly. Sure, you got dropped down to 2 life last turn, and you are staring down a 7k body. But I think it's okay, honestly. Yeah, you play the 7 drop Mom. Enel really can't trash a life there, just because you have 4 more swings, and one of them will be a 7. So it's just a lot of cards out of their hand, and usually Enel wouldn't want to do that. But he might. He might end up trashing his life, then just defending a whole bunch. And then, you know, he can play Yamato, heal the 1, and pop like the Parasparrow. Nope, he's going to take a 5k. So yeah, Katakuri I think is almost guaranteed to heal this turn, which is pretty good. I assume just try to take more cards from Enel's hand with the 5, 6, and then 7. Yep, going 5 again. I imagine Enel will counter with like the Brule or the Shirahoshi, either one. And it'll just be 6 from Gadatsu, 7 from Leader. Play the Big Mom. Kind of, you probably want to play the Big Mom now, so they don't like trash a life and then just like heal it next turn, which is really risky for Enel to do. But they still think it's correct to play the 7 Mom before swinging with Gadatsu and the Katakuri. And I think Enel is forced to just heal, because if he trashes, yeah, he could just drop a 2k and then, you know, just take like leader hit. But then he has to play Yamato next turn to stay alive, and then you're still staring down a very full board from Katakuri. So, yeah, I'm also curious, yeah, if Katakuri does end up swinging, and he does. And this is like super annoying for Enel, because he can drop a 2k here, but then Katakuri's leader probably just won't swing, because there'd be no reason to. But if you take it, and then if you don't want to drop to 0, you have to drop 2 cards. So yeah, just kind of an annoying spot, but well played from the Katakuri, obviously. That is what you want to do against Enel, you know, force them to drop some of their hand. And I do think Enel will 2k this. Unless, he wants to see one more card and then end up dropping 2. But yeah, he has the Yamato. He doesn't really need to cycle that much yet unless he really wants like a trigger or something. But this should just be a pass coming out from Katakuri. No reason to attack life. Never mind, he can just swing into Nami. Or the ace, either one. Yeah, I was yapping there, my bad. Can like definitively clear the Nami or just get a 1k for the ace. Goes for the ace. Okay, checking his life. I think that was reject or a thunderbolt. That's reject. Okay. Thinking about what he wants to do with that. The trigger on reject is just draw a card, so it's nothing like too crazy. I feel like you leave it on top because you don't really want it to be your last life, right? Yeah, just leaves it on top. And Enel will definitely drop that Brûlée because no reason to give up that ace for free. And going up to 9 Dawn, so this is certainly just a Yamato play. Can pop the Perospero. Feels a little bit bad doing that, but you're gonna pop a body with Yamato if you can. There's no reason to kind of miss that value, I don't think. They get a search, but whatever. What's the worst that could happen? He's gonna go 5 at the Satori. Yeah, just clear what you can this turn. Put yourself in a bit of a safer spot. Like you're getting 10 Mom next turn. It is inevitable. Ace could definitely go at the Gidatsu. Could also just go life to represent a bit more pressure. They're going to have 3 swings next turn, and if you get 10 Mom'd, you're going to be back at 1 life, which feels kind of bad. So yeah, Ace does go at the Gidatsu, and it will eat up a 2k. And Yamato coming down, popping the Perospero, and healing for a life. As long as he does not forget. Let's see what Perospero hits. That looks like a whiff. I think it was 2 Sanjis and a Beji. So, yeah. Enel's gotta be happy about that. Katakuri's hand already very low. So, yeah, we take those. But here we go. It's 10 Mom time. Gotta love 10 Mom. Drawing for turn. It doesn't matter what he draws. We know the 10 Mom is coming. I think, right now, it doesn't look too bad for Enel. As long as he doesn't get, 10 Mom, chained. Because right now, Katakuri only has the 1 10 Mom. He does have a pudding, which could find another 10 Mom. But that also means you're going another turn without 10 Momming. So, Enel still has a little bit of wiggle room there. So, yeah, the position isn't too bad yet for Enel. The position also isn't bad for Katakuri. Honestly, it's a pretty neutral game state. Enel right now is winning a little bit on board, but that changes very fast once the 10 Mom comes down. Katakuri attacking 5 at life. I'm curious which life you just let 10 Mom trash. Do you try to stay at 1 life for your Yamato next turn? I think you do, right? Yeah, 10 Mom coming down. You probably want to just eat the 7 Mom hit and counter out of the Gidatsu. Just to keep that barrier up of being at 2 life. Mitigating kind of just 3 swings. So, yeah, I think that's how it's going to play out. Enel does trash a Sanji off of life. I'm kind of curious why I'm seeing Sanji a lot more in the OP06 Enel lists. What do you try? I guess because you play Okiku. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's not searchable in the deck. But I guess with this version, you might not be playing many Sky Island cards, right? I don't know if you have a direct searcher anymore. Yeah, that's probably why, actually. Just because you're probably not playing a Shura or a Pudding. Obviously, you're not playing Pudding. Yeah, we need a yellow Wano searcher. Nah, that might be a little bit too good. Don't listen to me, Bandai. But Gidatsu swinging for 6 at Enel. Again, kind of in the same spot where it's you kind of have to defend this, but then your ace, you have to defend your ace too. It's do you low-key just take this and then you have 3 2Ks in hand and then you just counter out of the Big Mom hit? I guess it's the same outcome either way, right? But you have a potential at a trigger with the Gadatsu swing. But he actually just lets go with the ace, which yeah, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. I wonder why. I guess just wanting to have more counter in hand. Still does have 2-2Ks. Top decks a Katakuri for turn. Katakuri would not be bad on the 7 mom, but healing your opponent to 5 life at this point with the potential of just getting 10 mommed again next turn sounds like really bad. So it's probably just like Yamato pop the Gadatsu and then just swing at life. I imagine that's just the play. Gonna swing 10. Okay, I like that. Swinging 10 at the 7 mom with only 3 cards in hand. Katakuri will probably let it go, right? He does have the counter to get out of this, but... So Katakuri does end up letting the 7 mom go. Gotta be happy about that as the Enel player, which is fair. Yamato coming down, popping the Gadatsu, healing for 1. Some great value there. Even with another 10 mom next turn, the Enel player knows he is not dying, which is great. Just gonna attack for 5 at leader. Katakuri will take that. Gets an Okiku trigger, which is very strong. So now he can die, but I mean, probably not. Like, right? You just have to counter out of a 5k or a 6k, which he can do with 2-2ks in hand. Katakuri top decking another Amande. So yeah, not having top end for this turn is definitely not a good look. Can play pudding and potentially find another 7 mom or an 8-drop Katakuri. One of those could be pretty good. You know, I guess if you 8-drop Katakuri, you could just put Okiku back on top of your life. Yeah, I think you just need some amount of top end to, to kind of keep your tempo up. But Big Mom swinging into Yamato is also very real. If he's just swinging like 13 at it, that probably will clear it, because again, Enel also only has 3 cards in hand. So that would be his whole hand, if he did have the counter for it, which we obviously know he doesn't, but... Right, yeah, no, he doesn't. Not for 13. Big Mom is too big. Yeah, I imagine this turn will just be pudding, and then hopefully find a Katakuri or something, or a 7 mom. They're both pretty good in this spot. But first swinging 12 at the Yamato, and Enel does just let it go. Yeah, that's fair. Not wanting to drop to 1 card in hand. Katakuri playing the pudding. See what he finds. Sees a 10 mom. So nothing he can play this turn, so he is still kind of behind on, you know, that end. But does have one for the following turn, and the game probably will get to the following turn because Enel only really has Yamato and his leader as like real attackers. Katakuri swinging 8, probably just at life. Nothing else he can swing at. No, swinging for 9 at life. Looking at his opponent's life, sees another Yamato. That's good for Enel, but I imagine that'll be put on the bottom of life. Considering it for now. I imagine you bottom deck that. You kind of have to put your opponent on, you know, don't have top end, and that will just give them top end for the following turn. And probably, like, you know, their best one, so yeah, putting that on the bottom I agree with. I think, you know, Enel definitely just takes this, and Okiku probably won't even swing. Although, I don't know. Do you want to swing with Okiku just to kind of put it out there that they can clear it? Nah, it doesn't opt to swing with it. I do believe that's correct. And he actually had a... man, I can't remember this event's name. But it's the 0 cost event where, you know, you discard it and another card to get 3k. But his trigger is very, very strong as your last life, because it is pretty much just an Enel effect, but on a card. So, you know, if you get hit with that as your last life, you discard a card for that event and for your leader, and you heal back to 2. It's really, really strong. And only for, like, 2 cards. Like, if you think about it, like a Maru trigger is, you know, kind of like 3 cards, because, you know, it's the life you take plus 2 other cards in your hand. So, yeah, that event's trigger is quite strong. But Enel swinging for 5 with the Onami. I think, yeah, Katakuri has to take the counter there. The other 2 hits, I mean, you'll definitely take the Yamato attack, You might also counter out of leader, depending, how it goes. Going 5 with leader. You might take this. I don't know, you have a 10 mom for next turn. Okay, yeah, he takes it. And does get another reject. At least I believe that's reject. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah. Enel definitely looking like he's just going to play Katakuri this turn. Put the Onami maybe at the bottom of his life, just to see what the other card they got, placed at the bottom is. How does that work with Katakuri effect? Like if Onami is on top, let's just say, and Katakuri wants to look at his opponent's top life, does that actually trigger? Like, can he move it? I'm not sure. I don't think I've run into that interaction. I imagine he can still move it. But Enel, I think, just considering his options, he could go a bunch of Dawn on Yamato and try to clear the Big Mom, which isn't the craziest play, but I think just the safer play is just Katakuriing the Onami. And you do have a decent amount of counter for the Yamato that you have. Let's see, you attack for 9, he goes down to 1 life, plays Big Mom, he's back at 2. He kind of has to just swing 12 at Yamato, and you can defend that. And then the rest are just at your leader, and you don't really mind. Sounds right. Enel attacking for 9. Katakuri does take. Gets no trigger. Well, yeah, it would have been a trigger if it was last life, but not in this scenario. Then playing down the 8-drop Katakuri, putting Onami. Again, I think on the bottom. I think the bottom makes most sense. See what that other card was that Katakuri put on the bottom. Yep. And passing it over. Can Katakuri try to go for game? Not really, unless he attacks with pudding and it goes through. I think that's the only scenario. It's probably just a 10 mom turn, I would imagine. Then does Enel get game if he 10 moms? Very possible, but triggers do exist, so it's not a guaranteed game. Katakuri going 1 Dawn on Okiku and attacking for 7. Okay, so he's attempting to go for game, and he does have the reject, which can just force your opponent to take their last life. So it is possible. This going for game is possible here. He does know Enel's top life is the 9-drop Yamato. Swinging with Okiku first to play around the Onami trigger. So it's pretty much just one random card that Katakuri doesn't know in life. But Enel does have a decent amount of counter. 2 2Ks plus the 3,000 event. So what? How much is that? That's plus 7. So you can get up to 12. Could, obviously get some more counter out of life. I think the other games have finished here. I think that's why we cut back there. But yeah, I don't think we know the winner yet. At least I definitely don't. I'm sorry about that, but we'll see. But Enel's still considering the 7K swing. I think you take it. Yeah. And it is the Yamato, which doesn't help the current situation, but if anything, it's just something to discard for your leader effect. Katakuri playing reject, Enel triggering the Onami, getting rid of the pudding, which is fair. Just get rid of one more attacker, discarding the Amaru, and now it is pretty much Katakuri is left with 4 Dawn, I believe, or 5 Dawn. Should be 5 Dawn. That is paid for the reject, and then 1 for Okiku. So that is an 11K swing from leader and a 12 from Big Mom. So you go, yeah, I guess I thought you go 11 first, but I guess Beji. Beji hits either of them. I don't know. Interesting choice. It's fine. Oh wait, does he have an Amaru? Then it's 12-12. He has an Amaru. It's 12-12. Okay. So right now, Enel doesn't have the counter for 12. So this last life has to either be a trigger, or I think just a 1K counter. Yeah, he needs either a 1K counter or a trigger. Either one help. It can't be a Sanji though, If it's a Sanji, he needs to just take it to hand, which I assume he will consider. Veggie obviously stops all this. Brule does not. But again, oh wait, it does because it's just a 1k. You take it to hand. Yeah, he has to. He definitely just takes this because just looking at the board state, he obviously doesn't have a counter to start off with, but you know the next swing would be 11, and then if he's considering a Maru, it'd be 12 or potentially 13. But he gets a 1k out of life, and obviously just takes it to hand. Katakuri will play a Maru, boost his leader to 8, then go 3 Dawn, and swing for 12 once again. And Enel does have the means to get out of this, dropping 2 2Ks, a 0 cost event, and a 1k, and that is exactly enough. So this should just be game for Enel. Well played. Well played. I'm curious how the game would have went if instead of that turn going for game, he just went for 10 drop Big Mom. I'm not sure how, because again, you know, he would have been back at 2 life. There was 3 swings coming at him, but there is always the potential for a trigger, and you know, one of those cards would have been new from the 10 Mom. So interesting thought. But other than that, I'll be uploading more of this tournament soon. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.